Welcome to this video abstract about teachers' attitudes and technology acceptance towards augmented reality apps for teaching and learning. My name is Jennifer Tiede from the University of Würzburg in Germany, and I'm looking forward to sharing some interesting pre-test findings from the iLRN2022 project with you. First of all, let me tell you a couple of words on the iLRN2022 project. It is a European research project funded by the European Commission's Horizon 2020 program. One of the core objectives is piloting and evaluating the effectiveness of augmented reality in primary education across Europe. We have 4 pilots, and today I'm talking about Pilot 1 and 2. Pilot 1 focuses on literacy attainment supported by augmented reality, and the second pilot is about STEM learning in the fields of geometry and geography. In these pilots, we are applying a pre- and post-test design. Teachers fill in surveys and take part in interviews, and students fill in knowledge tests. Then they either start the intervention, which means using one of the AR apps in class, or they go on with their traditional lessons when they are in control group, and afterwards they fill in post-tests. The focus of today's presentation is on the survey pretest results of teachers. Based on related literature, we defined the following 2 research questions. How can teachers' attitudes and technology acceptance towards AR be defined and measured? And which predictors have an impact on teachers' attitudes and technology acceptance towards AR. So attitudes and technology acceptance are the 2 constructs of main interest. Attitudes can be defined as predispositions that consistently affect actions. Hence, the attitudes towards a medium will influence whether and how the teachers will integrate the medium in question into their classes. We developed a known scale based on related sources and made sure the items match the AR context. So we came up with 24 items for agreement on a scale from 1 to 5. The scale has a very good internal consistency with an alpha of 0.93, and we also considered the corrected item total correlation to check whether any item is inconsistent with the results of the other items. The value should be above 0.3, so our items all show a good or a very good discrimination. This way, we confirmed that all of our items appropriately represent the construct addressed by the scale. The second construct is teachers' technology acceptance towards AR. TAM is a well-researched construct. It is considered a valid measure to explain and predict user behavior for a specific technology in question. Basically, TAM assumes that the usefulness of a technology as perceived by the user and its ease of use as perceived by the user influences his or her attitudes towards using it. This again has an impact on the behavioral intention to use the technology, and this leads to the actual use. There are numerous versions and extensions of TAM, so we could use an existing scale. We selected the scale by Ibili and colleagues. This scale adds the 2 predictors of social norms and anxieties to the model. They also added satisfaction here, but we decided not to include these items about satisfaction because this would not be applicable for the pre-test context. So we ended up with 12 items for agreement. The internal consistency is again good, with an alpha of 0.84. The corrected item total correlation again confirms that all items have a satisfying to very good correlation with the total scale and can be retained. So we complemented these scales by demographic data and by the relevant experience of teachers. This means teaching experience, how many years are teachers teaching, expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning on a scale from poor to very good, and their previous experience with augmented reality. And then we have the 2 scales on attitudes and technology acceptance as described. So who is our sample? We have 129 participants from 13 countries, as you can see here. Most of them are female, that's approximately 74%. They are aged 44 on average, with the youngest being 27 and the oldest participant being 63. Let's have a quick look at the relevant previous experiences our participants brought along. A majority of approximately 87% has more than 10 years of teaching experience. They have quite a good self-assessment of their expertise in using digital media for teaching and learning, as you can see here. The average value is 4.3 on a scale from 1 to 5. The previous experience with AR varies strongly. On a scale from 0 to 6, most teachers are rather inexperienced. The mean value is 2.3. All in all, we can see that the sample is quite experienced in teaching and also in using digital media, but less knowledgeable about augmented reality. Coming to the descriptive results of the survey on attitudes, on average across the whole scale, teachers showed a high agreement with the statements, 4.3 on average on a scale from 1 to 5. They also agreed mostly with the statements on technology acceptance. All participants show relatively high values. The average value across the whole scale is 5.7 on a scale from 1 to 7. So basically the sample has quite a positive attitudes towards AR. This is expectable because the teachers applied voluntarily for the study and are obviously motivated to learn more about the innovative medium. Now let's have a look at the correlations. Here are our two constructs of attitudes and technology acceptance. We identified the bivariate correlations with the variable selected by calculating the Pearson correlation coefficient for every pair of variables. First of all, it is hardly surprising that both constructs correlate strongly, meaning if one of them is high with a participant, the other one will likely also be high. There is also a strong correlation between previous AR experience and teacher technology acceptance, and a weak correlation between previous AR experience and teacher attitudes towards AR. Then we have the self-assessed expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning, and this correlates with teacher technology acceptance and also with AR experience with a medium strong effect. Gender or teaching experience did not correlate significantly with any of the variables. We also conducted a multiple linear regression for the dependent variable of teacher technology acceptance, where we could confirm the significance of expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning, and of teacher AR experience as predictors. Furthermore, when comparing the standardized coefficient beta of these two predictors, we found that the impact of the AR experience is clearly higher than the impact of expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning. So overall, it can be concluded that the higher a teacher's previous experience with AR and, to a smaller degree, his or her self-assessed expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning is, the higher his or her technology acceptance towards AR is likely to be. Several limitations apply. First of all, the sample is not representative, but it is a self-selecting convenience sample of quite experienced and very motivated teachers. Second, we worked with self-assessments, so the results may be biased. And third, the data come from 13 countries, so there might be a hierarchical structure, which we could not confirm here due to the sample size, but we will run respective multi-level analysis with the student data at a later stage. Coming back to the research questions. Question 1. We could define both constructs, and we could develop or adopt and successfully apply two scales for measuring the constructs in question. And with regards to question 2 about the predictors, we could confirm that AR experience and, in case of technology acceptance, expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning were relevant predictors, while gender and teaching experience did not have a significant impact. What can we learn from these results? So obviously, the previous AR experience and the expertise in using digital media in teaching and learning are very important for the teacher's attitudes. In the context of our project, this gives us valuable information on our sample, which will help us contextualize our results at a later stage. The findings are a valuable basis for comparing pre- and post-test results, and they also pave the way for further related research also in more diverse settings and target groups. Overall, it has become obvious how necessary it is to enhance opportunities for pedagogical staff to engage with augmented reality. The more they experience the medium and the more they work with it, the more likely they will also employ it in their classroom practice. This has implications for initial teacher education programs and also for continuing professional development, because these are the frames where respective opportunities have to be created and enhanced to ensure that pre-service and also in-service teachers get more opportunities to advance their competencies and to learn more about augmented reality. If you have questions or comments, please get in touch. And I'm also looking forward to discussing the topic at the iLRN conference. Our online session will be on Monday the 30th at 8 p.m. European time. Thank you for your interest and see you at iLRN if you like.